Hello, we are back in our Schoology test or quiz to go ahead and look at the settings tab now that we've created all our questions, seen how to create a question bank or bring questions in from a question bank. So the first thing we'll do in the settings tab is go ahead and give any empirical directions that we have for all of the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and just simply give a direction of when you have to get this test completed by. Now that I've done that, the next thing I'll do is go ahead and set my submissions. The default is disable, so while by default your quiz or test is viewable in the course stream, learners are not able to start interacting with that test or quiz until you set it as enable, which simply opens up the test or quiz altogether. I can enable it until, which means it's open now, this second, as soon as I save this setting, until a date and a time, or I can give it a time window, which is what I'm going to do. So I'll give it a start date of today at, we'll go ahead and put 12 noon. And it needs to be in no later than tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. So at 12 noon today, the test will open. The learners will be able to start taking the quiz. And then at 11:59 and 59 seconds, the quiz will be open. Once that second goes to 12 midnight, the quiz will lock. If a learner is in when the quiz does lock, it will simply just submit what they've already done and leave what they have not completed blank. Remember that I could place a time limit on each question. If I do that, I cannot use the time limit here in the settings. This time limit is for the entirety of the test. So if I set that as yes, I can go ahead and say this test should take no more than 60 minutes, and a timer will appear at the bottom right, timing the entirety of the test. Once it gets to 60 minutes, again, whatever is completed will be submitted, whatever is blank will be left blank. Go ahead and change that back to no. My attempt limit by default is 1. I can set it anywhere from unlimited to a number of times. If I do something, let's say like 3, I can choose to have the highest score taken, last score taken, or average score taken. It's up to me which one I'd like it to be. So I'll go ahead and do average. I can randomize the order of the questions, as well as, remember, inside the question types, I could randomize the choices inside those questions. So I'm going to randomize the order of the questions, and I may also choose to have one question per page or using page breaks. I like the one question per page because it limits distractors, as well as it limits the ability for Kid A to look over Kid B's shoulder to see any correct responses. I can go ahead and with one per page, change question review to yes, so that the learner can hit the back button to check question 1 once they've gone on to question 2. If I leave that as a no, they do not have the opportunity to do that question review, so I always think it's best to go ahead and do a yes there. I would also encourage you highly to make this quiz resumable, because if a learner, let's say, gets called to the nurse's office or has to go to the office for some reason and they leave the quiz, they exit Schoology. If they're on an iPad, their iPad falls asleep. If their laptop falls asleep, or they close their laptop and lose connection, they will, in essence, have submitted the quiz. And if I have the attempt limit set to 1, they're finished there. So I always make that resumable yes. And last but not least, for viewing submissions, I have 3 ways that I can do it. No, they can't see their submission at all. They just hit submit. They don't even get to see a review of what they've answered. If I do yes, they can see that question 1 was the sky is blue, true or false, and that they said true or said false. And last but not least, yes with the correct answers. So their answer will be shown as well as the correct response. That is up to you. You can come back in here at any time and toggle between these choices. So what I like to do is leave the view submissions as yes until everyone has taken it on all their 3 attempts. And then once that's done, I change this to yes with correct answers. And that's my way of going over the quiz results. The learners have a results tab just like you have a results tab, and they can go into that results tab and see this is how I responded, this is the correct way to respond. So now I'm not using my class time to go over that, and they can come to me during independent work time and ask any questions that they have, or I could make that statement known, hey, it's independent work time. The first thing I'd like you to do is review your quiz, then do XYZ things. Come to me with any questions. Once I've gone ahead and set these the way I want, I have to save those changes at the bottom, and now those changes are live to the test or quiz. I hope that this look at the settings pane in Schoology was helpful, and as always, thanks for watching.